Hey guys, cameraman Josh here. I thought I'd come on and just offer a little bit of context to the video you guys are about to watch. It was filmed last week in North Bay, Ontario with Paul and his longtime friend Steve Featherstone. Now Steve is not like anyone I have ever met. He is the director and owner of his own Reptile Camp. He is a counselor for his municipality. He is a children's social worker. And besides that, he does various other things like managing a cornhole league. So he's a very busy man, and thankfully we had a chance to tour his home, which doubles as the Reptile Camp, and sit down with him for an interview. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Definitely stay tuned for the end.
What else do you want? I don't know. Turtles. Okay, here you go. The chances are there's no garters over there.
Yeah, he was saying, then they put the that metal bird, they had it over there, and for some reason the garter snake wouldn't come around.
Oh.
Because he was worried that he's gonna get eaten.
We found those red bellies a few years ago. We found a lot of salamanders.
Salamanders?
Tons of toads. At night, like if you come out at night and walk from the house down to about here and back to the garage, you'll probably pass 30 or 40 toads.
Cool.
Big toads. So we want to do something a little bit more natural. So we're doing a big outdoor natural crock pot. We'll start it this spring and it'll be ready to go. Or start it this fall and it'll be ready to go in the spring. Under the bridge. Almost always under the bridge.
So what was your plan that you're gonna do? You were saying what your budget was?
Oh, 30 grand.
30 grand.
We're doing like a 120 foot by like 40 foot pond that we're gonna try and do 5 sections so that we can get all of our crocs outside and everything, like instead of fencing and netting, everything kind of natural barricade. So like armor stone and boulders and stuff to keep animals in.
Huge. Yeah.
Try and do that kind of stuff. We're heating it with an outdoor wood boiler that I already put in.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. But yeah, so we're gonna start digging it in like a couple weeks and put a liner down and put some sand and gravel and everything on it, and then just let it sit until the spring, and then in the spring kind of finish it and do everything to make it look good. My mom's gonna plant it all, natural plants and everything.
Goes to show you that if you like something, like sometimes costs you a little bit of cash, but it's worth it, right?
Cash and time.
Cash
But
and time.
I work other jobs to support this job.
Yeah, I know you do. You work hard to make sure that these guys survive well.
So we just kind of leave her alone. She's done her time, you know?
Yeah, that's the nice thing is that she's done her time. She doesn't have to really worry. She can relax and live life. Oh my God, those are the old lockers.
They were in the garage.
Oh my God.
So they got touched up with paint a little bit. Katie came out, but they were in the garage, and pretty much the only thing that survived in fire. They were pure black, and we took them out and like power washed them, and most of the paint was still on them. I don't know what the lockers are made out of, lead or something, but they survived.
So cool.
What
man.
fire, sorry?
We had a
Unfortunately,
huge
yes.
garage fire here, so power goes in and out over the winter a little bit, and our backup generator wasn't turning on, and we had checked it before, and I was out of town. I was in South Carolina, so my daughter was looking after the place, so she lit a fire, but there was a tree that fell kind of on the back of the garage, and it knocked off like a pipe on the back of the garage. She didn't know that. Lit a fire, and it backdrafted into the garage and burned the whole garage. So the only animals that survived, we had a big snapping turtle and our big alligator survived. We had like giant concrete enclosures that we made, so they just sunk to the bottom and survived till the next day, and we got them out of there, but we lost tons of animals. Plus our whole facility, we had to rebuild it.
But those lockers survived.
Yeah, those lockers survived. That's why when I just looked at that, I was like, oh my God.
They were the only things in there that was like recognizable. But I'm not going down that road anymore. Okay, you're being a pain now.
Look at this, what a beauty.
Hello, little fella.
I like this. A really nice basking and everything like that. Perfect for the animal. Right?
I had 18 of them loose in an apartment building. No enclosure in them. Just loose, and that was one of the 18 that we brought in. But he,
you were able to rehome?
yeah. Well, we didn't grant actually rehomed.
Oh, you have a red tiger down
Red
there?
tiger's awesome.
Yeah. Now, you have a male and female?
That's a male.
Nice.
It does look very good.
Yeah, it looks really nice, huh? Yeah, beautiful.
Light green anaconda. Little big boa.
You guys all in the same area?
They're all in here. So this enclosure, they can go up here. So generally the smaller guys, boas and anacondas and stuff up here, they can go up into the loft up here. We have a hatch on the loft, so we're doing a lot of maintenance in there. We can put a bunch of snakes up there and latch them in. So this is a reticulated python, pleasure retic.
I really like their color.
Yeah, he's cool. We think he's probably the biggest snake in Canada currently.
Yeah.
It's actually smoother than it has been. Maybe you're a good dog. Holy. Where's the end?
Actually work. Okay, big boy.
Yeah. When we have camp kids here, we just tell them like if he is kind of coming towards you, you just very calmly, you walk, you don't run away from her head. That's it. That's the only rules we have. Like she's pretty easy going. We just don't take the risk.
How long is she?
So we've tried to get accurate measurements. She's definitely over 19 and a half and under 20. It's tough to tell. We think she's one of the biggest in Canada. Like the race has quite a few pretty big guys, but most of theirs top out 16 to 18. There's a really big one at Calgary. There's a big one at Moncton. But from just, casually talking to people, we don't think anybody has a 20-footer in Canada. And this one is like, if it's not 20 feet, it's an inch or two shy. She'll tolerate like a little bit of hang on up here, but once her back half is off the ground, she'll tolerate like
Yeah, something like that, just a slight lift. And that's the thing too, is it's obvious that Steve is working with these animals all the time and wanting to make sure, okay, well, how does this animal work with this way? Do we take it to a birthday party? No, it's too much of an issue, too big of an animal to deal with a birthday party. Even when the people are saying, oh, come on, we want a bigger snake. You know what? You got to respect the snake, right?
So you get her out here, even with a group of 30 or 40 kids, she's pretty bomb-proof. Pretty low risk as long as people stay away from the head. You could try and be creative and get a measurement. You go get some string and try and run the string down her body.
Yeah, why not?
Measure the string later if you want. The spot. So if like two of us work with string, we might be a little bit better off.
Okay, let's measure that and see where we're at.
So we got it at 18. Pointed that way, you like actually like just pick her up and move her head in there, show them. And that's it. You know where you're going to be?
This is where they do presentations?
Yeah. That's amazing.
Natural log benches.
Who's in there?
We got 2 cuvies and 2 specs. Young guys in here.
Are they crazy?
No, they're pretty good.
pretty
The cuvee that's over there is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So we actually need the water top.
We know these guys. They're beautiful.
He's a tiny little guy.
a little spectacles. Again, these guys here generally can be quite feisty, but I'm pretty sure with just a little bit of work in that, they tend to calm down. They're not pets by any means, but I gotta always remember that part, right? These are animals that people like Steve and other police people like zoos and that can work with to make sure that these animals are well taken care of. Listen, you give him a little hiss, right? He's just saying, okay, I've had enough for today. Sorry, buddy, didn't mean to bump your face. And if I was a kid and this was available to me, my parents would have had to bring me here all the time, right?
We left all this. This is all mostly all milkweed and whatever.
Yeah.
We've had it all cut down before, but we left it out because it's awesome for all the butterflies. So in the spring and early summer, we have thousands of butterflies on the property. Like, it looks like South America with the amount of monarchs that we have.
I've got some raspberries.
Yeah, tons of raspberries and blueberries on the property. Our outdoor pond is going to go behind Mojo's fence and kidney shape this area. And all of Holly's garden beds we're moving, and it's going to kind of fill this whole back area. Wow. So it's going to be a huge outdoor pond, waterfall, the whole bit. So this will get taken down. All the fencing will come out, but we'll leave the 4x4s in, or 6x6s, sorry, in the ground, and just utilize them into the new enclosure. But we'll take everything down and repurpose it. This guy, so you notice that dwarf croc when we put the stick under his head and brought him up to the surface to get a good look at him. He tolerated that pretty well. This guy does not. So he'll probably try and bite it and then take off, but we'll try. So we can get a good look at him.
Yeah, right away.
So
That's okay.
Somebody had him and just had him in a trough. He had never really been outside, never seen sun. They didn't work with him. They just had a piece of plywood screwed over top as a lid. And every once in a while would unscrew the plywood and throw him food, and no light, no filter, no rocks, no nothing.
Yeah.
So when we got him, we put him in that enclosure last year at the start of the year. And he was getting almost like sun blisters, and like he almost got like cataracts from the sun. It was too bright for him because he had been inside for so long.
Yeah.
The dwarf croc generally likes this enclosure because of all the vegetation. So he's out on land a lot and hides. But I switched him. He's fine over there with the heat, and he likes this one better now with the amount of shade that this enclosure provides. So, you know, he's still used for programs. He only comes out once a week though. So he works 8 days a year.
Yeah, it works 8 days a year, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm absolutely amazed by is like how big this area is, but the maintenance is absolutely there. Like, look at the size of this place, and look at what this animal has. Like, he needs to go and bury himself down in here and feel comfortable as he can. She's got logs. He's got.
She hangs out over here a lot in this one.
Yeah, see.
She caught a chipmunk this year.
Did he catch a chipmunk this year? Well, you know, chipmunks should know that this is a space that's not for them.
We have to fence off our blueberries because of the bears.
They're still in tomato.
I might have picked all of them.
We gotta check out this truck, guys. Look at this truck. This has gotta be the coolest thing. Steve sent me a thing telling me, saying, hey, what do you think of this, right? And I was like, oh, this is cool. And at the time, it was just like a printout to show. And then I said, oh, maybe a little more yellow into it and that. And next thing you know, it's like, I got a truck. Look at this truck, man. It's so cool. Look, this eye actually glows at nighttime, right? You know, it's got everything. I mean, it is just such an attractive little truck. Oh, this is so cool, guys. This is so super cool. They were telling me about a garter snake that lives in that little garden, and they said how big it was. And not until this little garter snake popped its head up did I realize how big this garter snake was. It is a big, beautiful female.
We'll go on the other side in case you miss it.
Yeah. I see her tail. Oh, no, there's two.
Oh, I see the tail too.
Yeah, there's two in there. Because there's one right there. Right? Which I'm going to grab. Oh, see the size of her? Look at the size of her. Oh, we got it.
Bent over to pick up the bigger one and lost this guy.
Look at this. Look at this.
Did you get the big one?
I think I got the big one. I'm not sure.
Let me see.
It's pretty big.
Nope.
That's not the big one, right? That's a big garter snake.
Oh, there it is.
Figured it. Oh, on this side.
No!
What? You got another one?
No, I lost it.
Oh, okay, well, another garter snake went that way.
Yeah, we lost the big one again.
Right. Did you get it?
I got one.
Yeah.
Not the big one though.
No, that would be probably a male. Oh, look at the colors, man. So we're looking at the garter snakes that live in the garden up here, right? Now look at the, so beautiful, right? This guy's a little bit squirrely, but that's okay. He'll settle down. One thing about garter snakes I've always loved is when you really look at them, just what kind of beauty and colors like that. All that tanning and the blacks and the yellows and that, they're just gorgeous. And this like little rock crevice here, so perfect for them, right? And they probably are just having the best time of their life living in here, right? And like Holly said, you know, be nice to my garter snake. And I'm very nice. Put your babies back. We're gonna find that big one. We will find that big one for sure before the day's over or tomorrow before we leave. So yeah, we're up here. I definitely haven't had a holiday in a long time, and I feel like I'm on a holiday, you know. And we're going around and checking out all the animals, and it's just too much fun. It's just way too much fun. You're gonna start. So do you want to just ask your question straight off?
So Steve, how did you get started how did you get involved in reptiles is a better question.
Kind of fell on my lap a little bit. I was working at Jungle Cat World in Orno when I was going to college and training big cats and having a lot of fun with that. And when I was finished my program, it was a little bit too far away to go back and forth. I still worked for them for another year or so, but just too far away. So I was looking in Hamilton for something to do with animals and applied at the store and started working with reptiles and kind of created a passion from there.
So you worked at the reptile store with Paul before you did Little Rays?
Yeah, I worked at a reptile store for a long time, 12 years, 13 years, something like that. And then Paul sold the store and I worked for the new owners for a few years and then opened up Little Rays Reptile Zoo franchise in Hamilton and moved my programs from facility to facility. Both programs are still running in Hamilton right now. So,
what inspired you to start Reptile Adventure Camp?
we started it just as a pilot program because I missed working summer camps. When I was young, I ran summer camps for City of Hamilton for Camp Kadaka. So I was doing a lot of educational shows where we were going out and doing shows at the camps, but I missed actually being involved day to day and actually running a camp. So we thought we'd just try it. We tried a 1 week program in July and 1 week program in August, and we loved it. We had a lot of fun with it. Brought a lot of kids into the store, and obviously those kids would eventually want to probably buy an animal, crested geckos or leopard geckos or something responsible. It just was a great business venture for us as well. But most importantly, it's just fun to run. And it was fun for the kids and fun to be involved. And then the next year we did 4 weeks, and the year after we did 8, and it just kind of grew from there.
So what does a day-to-day look like at your camp? You mentioned that they're learning a lot about like the animal care aspect, and they're hands-on and involved with that as well.
Yeah, it's all structured. So our program's changed a lot. So now that we're here, now that we're in Bonfield, it's a half day with animals and it's a half day somewhere else. So when they're working with the animals, we're doing educational shows, they're doing handling, they're doing zookeeping tasks, they're documenting where all of our crafts, games, and activities are associated with animals. Everything is nature-based and animal-based. And then the afternoons, we'll go to different conservation areas and go swimming. We'll go hiking, we do axe throwing, we do archery, we go kayaking, things like that. So it's a half day with animals and it's a half day outside on an adventure doing something in the community.
One of the things that I've always found very cool about Steve is he does not give up. His drive is amazing. Even when he's doing the summer camp, you know, I know a lot of people, oh, he's making good money at the summer. No, he's not. What he's doing is he's working at a whole bunch of other jobs to make that summer camp work for those kids. So he's actually working basically for those kids.
I used to tell my mom when I was like 4 or 5 that I was going to have an alligator as a pet. I
Yes.
wasn't a reptile person. I was always a cat guy. So when I got the job at Jungle Cat World working with cats, that was awesome. That was my first animal job, really. But I knew a lot about cats before I started working there. But I was never a reptile guy by any means. But for whatever reason, I was fixated on alligators or crocodiles. So I told my mom, I'm going to have an alligator as a pet. She's like, well, you don't have alligators as a pet. Yeah, no, I'm going to have an alligator as a pet. And we just would argue about it all the time. And she's like, well, where are you going to keep it? I'm like, in a pond. I'm going to build a pond at my house. I'm going to build a moat around my house so that nobody comes to my house and nobody bugs me. And she's like, well, where are you going to get the water? I'm like, we will call the water truck. She's like, but then it all leaks out, and then where are you going to get the water? We'll call the water truck again. Like at 4 years old, it was so simple. And,
I know.
And
Why
here
do
we
parents
are.
not understand that?
Here we are now, 40-something years later, and we do have an alligator, and we are going to put it in a pond.
Do you call the water truck?
And it is going to be at my house. I have called the water truck a couple times to fill it up, but it's expensive. So the enclosure that Mojo's in, that our big alligators in, is 18,000 gallons. And we have lots of other ponds as well, but we can drain them, clean them, and fill them up over the next couple of days, and we've never had loss of pressure.
Actually, guys, that is actually, remember I said earlier that there was something that we're going to see that's really cool? You are going to see an amazing enclosure. Yeah, you got to check this out. This is going to be fun. So we're about to go out that way. And I might even jump in the water. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. Steve says Mojo has good days and bad days. We'll find out. Okay? Our third snake. Well, that was just wonderful.